It's Week 18 of the National Football League. And
For some, the final chapter of the season. For others, a final week before the playoffs. And we're off in Week 18. And he gets across the 30 before he's brought down. So out head the Falcons for their first possession. And they're brought out by the 10th pick of the 2024 draft, a national champion at Michigan, J.J. McCarthy.
Okay, you know he's happy about that win last week, but less happy about his performance. He went into the lab this week, there's no question about it, and studied those mistakes, those 2 interceptions, because he knows that's not sustainable for winning. And I know the line from Mark McCarthy. The quarterback being a voice of poise. That means flushing those mistakes from a week ago and being poised to go attack today.
Good run, gets him 7. That brings up 2nd and 3. To him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. He picks up 28 on the play. And it's good for an Atlanta first down. He gets it forward for a gain of 3. That's Antoine Winfield Jr. up to make that play. 2nd down now, 7 to go. Tight end going in motion here. Here's 2nd and 7. And they limit the damage on the return, but it is still a turnover. Well, that right there is exactly how you kill some momentum. An early setback, no doubt, but the first time out, fumbling it away in enemy territory, that's tough.
Man, such a bummer, right? Because the journey was going well. You script for success, you get that ball moving, and then you're right, you just lose all sorts of momentum. Got to recapture it the next time out.
So here comes the Jaguar offense now. Their turn to set out on an opening drive. Bringing them out to 4th overall pick in 2023 out of Florida, a super athlete at quarterback, Anthony Richardson.
I don't think it's hyperbole to say that when Anthony Richardson came out of the draft out of Florida, he was the greatest player.
Falcons getting close, and they take him down. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up.
We spend so much time talking about an offense and how they script the first 15 plays typically. But how about that defensive coordinator, that head coach? Heck, every player on that sidelines, you couldn't script it any better. Taking the ball away, creating a negative play, creating a sack, creating an offense down behind the chains. That's exactly how you're looking to start.
This drive in some serious trouble. It's 3rd and 12.
Throw it.
Throwing at Richardson. He's got it. And not much doing. He stopped quickly.
Pursue, pursue, pursue. It's why they do these drills all the time, Kate. You do it through the offseason, do it through training camp, do it in the regular season. Because when a defense plays with tremendous pursuit, you force 4th downs just as they did.
And now he's going to call for the fair catch and take it just beyond the 30. No return on that punt. And the Falcons will take over. The Falcons taking the field for their 2nd drive. They lost it in enemy territory their last time out. Never a spot you want to fumble. I imagine it's going to be 2 hands on the football as they return to the field. They're cobbled together a yard there. Jaden Hicks there on the tackle. Only gets a yard there to make it 2nd and 9.
be a worst-case scenario. Pass rush just kept coming and bearing down, and he was looking for an escape that wasn't there. Just one of those plays in hindsight, Kate, where you really got to understand, I got to cut bait, cut my losses, and avoid such a negative play. You know, I like the completion. You never turn down a completion. That's just not the right throw to make in that spot to move the chains.
Fourth down, punch out, coming block, and here's Austin McNamara to put his leg into it. He bunted 3 times in the win last week, and this one is away. And before that return amounts to much, they bring him down. That punt gets up to 59 yards. And it's going to be their football coming up. The Jaguars in a good starting spot for this drive. Coming up, 1st and 10. They kick the running back in motion. Which is a 1st and 10. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. Couldn't connect on first. It's 2nd down. Motioning left is Thomas. 2nd and 10. Again, it's Richardson. Pocket isn't moving up. They're able to drop it. And that pushes them back. 3rd down coming up.
The cheat code. Oh, let's go. Let's count that one.
Looking to tack on the point after. The point after splits the uprights. And the Jaguars will jump into a 7-0 lead. The Jaguars ready to set this downfield, and away it goes. Starting from the 5.
At the 10.
He's stopped on the return at the 27. The Falcons ready for their next possession. Things sure have started out wrong. They've stayed that way through 2 drives. Maybe throw it with the breakthroughs. Where we see this offense get ready. And not a lot of room for him as he's brought down. 3 yards on the 1st down play, and that brings up 2nd and 7. And he's got a decent gain before being brought down. 3rd down, 1 yard to go. And he's dropped just short of the marker, maybe a yard away.
Okay, that's a run that's ho-hum on the stat sheet, but if we see a bigger play on the ground later on, it'll largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door, bigger gap in the future.
Falcons getting ready for the punt. Got 46 on his first punt, and this one's pushing a little more distance. Same as a touchback here. Fair catch made at the 20. This offense and their quarterback making their way back out there, ready to take over once again. And he already has a passing touchdown in this game. As you can see, that's what he's done with regularity all year, sitting among the NFL leaders in that category. Motioning the tight end now. Done. It's a gain of 3 for him. That brings up 2nd and 7.
You know, not a ton of yards, but still showing that commitment to the ground game. The type of run that keeps the defense from loading up in coverage and focusing entirely on that passing game.
Has him on the quick hitter. And he'll be taken down after advancing this to the 37. It's a pickup of 14 yards as the chains reset.
I think my favorite part was the magic he worked after the catch. The way he took the completion and made so much more out of it by adding all the extra yardage.
The chain's moving, oh!
first down throw here from Richardson. And he's going to go down right along the midfield stripe. They get 13 on the pickup. And that'll be good for a Jacksonville first down. The shotgun, it's Richardson. And he's going to be dragged down. Looks like at that 37-yard line. It's a 13-yard play, and that's enough for the first.
Let's change. Keep him.
Throw again, Richardson. Completed over the middle. He's stopped at the 31-yard line. 2nd and 3 now.
Let's make some plays out there, offense. Get some yards, boys.
Richardson. To the sideline, complete, and he's got the first down as he stays in bounds. Man in motion here. On first down, it's Richardson. Rushed into the pocket. And he's running with it. That's good for a gain of 5. Trent McDuffie getting there for the stop.
He made something out of that play for them. Everyone's so concerned with defending the pass, they didn't quite keep tabs on what he was doing as a QB. It gave him just enough room to run.
And he's tackled after gaining a handful. Give him 4 yards there, and they only need 1 more now on 3rd down. They give it to him again. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
You love a huddle. Okay, you really do. You love a huddle full of guys like this who just know how to keep the drive moving forward. There's some trust there, and he's going to get the job done, and he's going to get another shot, I would guess, down the line.
This one falls incomplete. Still set up at the 9. It's 2nd and goal.
Come on now. You gotta make a play here. Come on.
And it's a gain down to the 5-yard line. We have a timeout now from somebody shaken up on the previous play, and as they work on him, his teammates hoping this doesn't keep him out of the postseason. Richardson. Has it in close. So some time to maybe reconsider what to do on 4th down. That's the end of the first quarter. Neither side separating much so far. Back to Everbank Stadium in just a bit. Back for the 2nd quarter. It's Jaguar football. We'll see if they go for it here. 4th down near the end zone. Here, sweeping across. And the look outside yields no fruit. They make the stop near the line of scrimmage. And he will not get there. They stop him on 4th and goal. What a stand to force that turnover on downs.
You know, Kate, it's almost like the defense was in the offensive huddle before the play. They dialed up the perfect blitz to encircle and cut off that run. And the reward is they get off the field.
This is ahead for about 5. Tackled by Keon White there. Halfway there on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Gain on the play, and it moves them with 3rd and 5. And the shotgun is McCarthy. And there's Miller. It's intercepted. Quan Martin with the pick. And it's a pick 6 as he runs it in for the touchdown. You want to know how strong the coverage was there? And they even had that underneath throw locked down, Brock, and he took it the other way.
It's really, really hard to find a better rep than that one in coverage. That's so spot on. Down the field, usually a gimme to the running back. The only thing was a gimme was getting 6.
That one splits the uprights. And the Jaguars double their lead to 14.
Take that.
Well, Brock, hopefully some short memories on offense as they get it right back here on the kickoff after that pick 6. The Returning it from the 4. And this drive will start inside the 25. Here's the Falcon offense headed out. And they're going to try to break through this defense and put some points up. They're down 14-zip. Trying to get to the pick. And this is pushed ahead for a gain of 5. Stopped by Deion Henley. Offense to the line for second down. On the 29. That pushes him back. Third down coming up. Putting the tight end in motion. Certainly been staying busy. Once again, he's out to punt and sends this flying. Collects this at the 35. And he's brought down before the return gets far. The Jaguars and Anthony Richardson headed back onto the field. And as it stands, he's in a spot to finish the regular season as the leader among quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns. The Jaguars in a good starting spot for this drive. Coming up, 1st and 10.
Let it. Slow it. Doesn't matter.
Back to throw. Here's Richardson. Brings it in. And he's tackled after getting this to the opposing 46.
Year after year, the best offenses are multifaceted. It's not just the receivers or the tight ends that can make plays through the air. When you get running backs that can attack the middle of the field like that, man, it's a difficult on the defense.
3 yards there and enough to move the chains.
I'm sure Coach, the play caller doesn't mind making the job a little bit easier. You know, play calling's a lot simpler and easier when you count on the offense to move the chains on those early downs.
Second and short. They send him left out of the slot. Here's second and 2. Won't be caught outright. It's incomplete.
But offenses that connect in this intermediate zone are so effective. Getting the completion in that area, and not just sparks your offense, but it just turns it aggressive moving way up. You just couldn't quite find the connection.
Take him down right along the 30. 5 yards on that play and enough for a new set of downs. 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Let's get out of here with the win, offense. Keep us.
Shotgun. They give it to him inside. And he gets a few on the plunge forward.
We know running the ball in the NFL is hard, and that play pretty indicative of it. Here's the key, though. At the end of the game, those type of plays got to be in the minority, and the majority have got to do some damage.
From the 27. Goes out of play quick. And he's keeping it. He's brought down a little short. No, actually they do give him the 10-yard line. The big play nets him 17 yards. And that's a Jaguar first down. Into him inside. And he won't win the race to the outside. That run's bottled up at the line. 2nd and 10. Need to get some positive yardage here. Carries here. And he's short of the first after a long gain. There's 5 on that play. They need 5 more now on 3rd down.
Rolling, boys. Time to go get fit.
Don't let us down.
Richardson. That one's incomplete in the end zone. Thought he had a touchdown there. And that leaves them with 4th and 5. And the Jaguars sending out the field goal unit. A very short kick here from the right hand. And it is good. No problems there on the shorter attempt. And that will add to their score.
In playing that close, kicks have to be automatic. That won't stop the head coach, though, from holding the spread for a couple seconds until he sees it's up and good.
Brings in the kick at the 9. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. Onto the field runs the Atlanta offense. And things start to get a little out of hand for him, Brock. That last score made it 17-zip. And he'll go down, and we'll say right at the 39-yard line. Give him 13 on that play. And the Falcons will have a first. Play action here. It's McCaffrey. Taking a shot. He had a flag, but great defensive play. Giant moves, incomplete. No dice on that fire pass. Here's second down. And the defense is all over this one for a big loss. Gets rid of this one, but unfortunately, that means fourth down coming up. Timeout called on the field, so we've got a player shaken up, and at the worst time, too. They just wanted to keep everyone healthy entering the playoffs next week. Fourth down, and on comes the punt team, and the kick's away. Fields this at the 19. And he gets his guys a few yards before they bring him down on the return. The Jaguars and this running back headed back out for a new series. And you can see that he's likely in store for some serious work today. He's coming into this final game in position to finish as the league's rushing champ.
In the pocket.
He gets forward, and that's about 4 yards. Travis Jones, the man in on that tackle. 2nd and 6 coming up here.
Ball moving down the field.
And he's down to the 42-yard line. Jacksonville first down. And they give it to him. And with a nice gain, he runs him down inside a field goal range. After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short.
Off
the play fake, here's Richardson. He has them a first down, which they will tackle on the other side of this 2-minute warning.
Make some noise, Jacksonville! Let's run it up the gut! From the end zone now.
That's his running back. And he'll get this inside the 10 to the 9. Halfway to the marker. It's 2nd and 5. Receiver in motion, headed right. On the shotgun, it's Richardson. He's got it. And he'll go down shy the end zone. They mark him at the 4. Gain of 5, Brock, and now they're going to have 1st and goal.
Let's go!
Again, Richardson. And they're going to take this in for the Jacksonville touchdown. The Jaguars boat racing them to the halftime locker room. Well, this machine has been firing on all cylinders this game, partner. And it continues firing as that lead grows yet again.
And those who've tried to get in the way of that machine you're talking about, namely the defense, well, they paid the price over and over and over again.
Right down the middle. And the Jaguars make it a 24-point ball game. The Jaguars ready to send this downfield, and away it goes. Has this at the 6. Stopped on the return of the 27. The Falcons with the football late in the first half. And losing by 3 scores, they'll have a final chance to take at least 3 off the deficit before halftime. First and 10. And he'll push this up upfield and earn them a new set of downs. And motion the tight end over. First and 10, here's McCaffrey. It's incomplete to Kenneth Walker. Gets it ahead, has about 5 yards. Stopped by Deion Henley. Timeout called by Atlanta. That's going to be its second. Operating from the gun. It's McCaffrey. He'll take this one out to his running back, complete. And he's officially in the enemy territory now, and that's going to give him the opposing 49. And he's going to be drugged down, looks like at that 37-yard line. Only time left for one more snap block, so they're going to run out their field goal unit. It'll be a 54-yard conversion. This one had a great chance, but not a good kick in the end. He misses it. So we're halfway through this final week of the regular season. That will send you down I-95 a couple hours to Orlando, depending on traffic. And we're going to check in with Donovan Coachman. He's got our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Kate, we'll get back to you and Brock in a bit. For now, plenty of early action in the 1 o'clock Eastern window to get you caught up on. So let's get to it. We'll get things started up at Ford Field in Detroit, where you see the final score there. James Cook, a touchdown run in the victory. We'll stay in the NFC North as we head over to Minneapolis to check on the Vikings at home in U.S. Bank Stadium. And you can see, currently they trail in that ball game. Josh Downs, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's head to Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati to see what's happening with the Bengals. As you can see the score there in the second quarter. Demario Douglas, 2 touchdown catches in that first half alone. We saw a strong first half out of the mobile quarterback, Anthony Richardson. He fired his guys into the lead with 2 first-half touchdown passes as they were looking like a well-oiled machine in the first half of play. This was an extremely one-sided first half. One team showed up ready to go. The other's been in a daze thus far, but there's still plenty of time left for this one to tighten up significantly.
Here's Patterson now to kick this away. On the return, here's Tyreek Hill.
Come on, bring it back.
And in the end, Brock, an exciting touchback as the return comes out to the 30. The Jaguars headed back out on offense. Their quarterback returning to the field now. And as we see some of the highlights from their showing, his work a big part of why they're in front right now. Having a nice, solid game as their offensive leader. I think we can say he's had a firm grip on the wheel and has really driven them to this advantage. First and 10 now from the 30.
Points on the board.
On the shine, offense.
They've got a man in motion.
Let's get some points.
And they had that one contained right at the line. Lane Pratt with the play defensively. Second and 10. Need to get some positive yardage here. And the push forward doesn't get beyond the line. Lane Pratt with the play defensively. So a tough spot now. This is 3rd and 9.
We need 6 on this drive.
Looking for the ball. It's Richardson. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And the defense comes through. That's going to back them up and bring up 4th down.
That's why these coaches get paid, Kate, what they get paid. You got to make adjustments. That's a different look of defense than the one we saw in the first half. And you got to keep fighting, keep scratching, keep clawing, because that effort is going to be key here the rest of the way.
The Jaguars in a punt formation. And this will be his second effort of the contest. And he's just going to fair catch this one. That's brought in at the 39-yard line. Here's Atlanta ready to take over possession. And this game might be going better if he could have some more time just to work back there. This pass rush has been all over them. Really keeps taking this offense out of any grooves that they've managed to get into.
Okay, I like to say in life there's energy givers and there's energy vampires.
Yeah.
And for this defense, these sacks right here are such energy givers. And man, it's like the vampires sucking the juice out of the offense.
And they limit the damage just a few yards on that game. Stopped by Deion Henley. We have a timeout now for somebody shaken up on the previous play, and as they work on him, his teammates hoping this doesn't keep him out of the postseason. Second down now, 7 to go. In the shotgun, McCarthy. And he's going to go down right along the midfield stripe. Here we go, third and less than a yard. Behind the line here. It's caught by his tight end. And he'll get them enough for a first down.
You know, they call that the money down for a reason, because you're just simply not going to last long in the NFL if you don't convert a good portion of your third down. It's a money down. Nice to see them roll the dice and continue the series.
And they're going to bring him down after a good gain to the 40. Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
Kate, it's amazing how fast these guys are on the field and how fast your fortunes can turn. Second and short run, you're feeling good about yourself. But with a negative play, well, now comes a critical third down.
Here is the throw. He's a quick hitter. And he's going to be brought down at the 35-yard line. Up to the line, and they're set. 1st and 10.
Teaching tape for a linebacker. Read, react, and finish.
They send a man in motion. 2nd and 13. And they get this down to the 28. All plays on the table here for 3rd and 3.
Don't get me wrong, Kate. Every defensive guy, they watch tape in their own ways. The linebackers, they're a little bit like quarterbacks. They got to develop that sixth sense by watching that tape so they can diagnose and get home in a hurry like he just did.
Crew able to put it through. And that lowers the lead to 21.
Here in the third quarter, he gets a chance to make up for the miss on his first attempt of the game. This time, well, he is totally dialed in, and he gets this one to count.
Here's Patterson now to kick this away. Hill now to return it. Returns looking good so far. They'll take over at the 39-yard line. Nice return there. The Jaguars in a good starting spot for this drive. Coming up, 1st and 10. And he's caught behind the line for a loss.
On these 1st and 10 calls, defenses are always keyed in that a run might be coming their way. And as soon as the QB turned to give the ball, the entire defense came crashing in to bury them for a loss.
And that will not be enough for a first down. 3rd and just 2 to go. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
Nice to see that connection, that chemistry working between the two of them.
1st and 10 from a yard shy of midfield. Action with Richardson. And he's there to send that one away incomplete. Couldn't find Brian Thomas Jr. on that throw. So it'll be 2nd down. Across midfield and down into enemy territory. Only 2 yards on the play, and it brings up 3rd and 8.
I believe in you, offense. Who has an offense? We can do this, offense. Get a touchdown, baby. Get a touchdown.
Here's
those little mental Rolodex plays right before the snap. You know, if the read isn't there, that option isn't there, you can use your legs to make the adjustment and go get the first down.
Keep running!
First down, he keeps it left on the option. And he drives into a pile of defenders and is stopped right at the line. No gain there that time, and it's 2nd and 10.
Come on, 6, not 3! Run it in for a touchdown! Keep it going!
Takes the handoff. It's complete right side. Decent gain here, but short of the first. Falcons go nickel to defend this 3rd down play. To throw Richardson. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
They like to say it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. I think that's about the X's and the O's. That's a well-drawn-up completion that nets them a first down.
They're now set for 1st and 10.
I want to see points at the end of this drive!
And he gets this forward to the 19. He managed 6 on the play, bringing up 2nd and 4.
Down like a long roll, baby.
Slot man in motion left. From the 19. Right as he threw it, and it falls to the ground. Couldn't find Brian Thomas Jr. on that throw. And now they need to get 4 on 3rd down. They put a receiver in motion here left.
All right, boys!
3rd and short yardage here, Richardson. 7. And he's going to be tackled, but still all the way down to the 6.
Line him up here, oh!
Motioning left is Thomas. And they've got him behind the line for a big loss. Leading 10 yards now as they line up at 2nd and goal. From the shotgun, it's Richardson. And this one's stopped at the 3-yard line. Only 1 quarter remaining now in these teams' regular season.
Let's go, oh!
They've held them out twice. Here we go, 3rd and goal.
Stop us!
Okay, let's make some good plays today. Come on! All right, let's control the clock here. Get a touchdown!
Here we go. And he's in for the touchdown. The Jaguars keep adding that 4th quarter lead. A lot of pressure on him in that moment, Brock. Find a way to score. Don't let it go to 4th and goal. And he finds a way to come through and gets in the end zone for 6.
And how about the other side? Beating the defense right there as well. That group who was so close to pulling off the goal line stand, yet all that motivation wasn't enough to stop them on 3rd and goal.
On focus.
One splits the uprights. And the Jaguars grow their lead yet again. The Jaguars ready to send this downfield, and away it goes. This return starts at the 5. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. The Falcons start headed out, and we'll see Kenneth Walker. And his performance has ailed against what has been a very stout defensive front. This hasn't been a contest to stack up. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. And he's going to go out of bounds. Looks a little short on the 35. 2nd and 3 now. Slide to Samuel. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a 1st down. And he's able to reach that midfield stripe after some solid running. It's a solid 7-yard pickup on 1st down. Now they're going to have 2nd and 3.
Don't let it get there!
lost on that run, and now it's 3rd and 3.
Get the ball, man. Bring it on.
McCarthy to throw it. And even on 3rd down, he sees no choice other than get rid of it. Not the play they wanted. It's going to be 4th down.
And this is why Scott's talking about a player's cruising speed, Kate. You know, once he senses the pressure, he's getting rid of the ball. It takes a lot of him to close quickly to get to him before it's released. And that sure altered the throw.
And he's going to be drugged down, looks like at that 37-yard line. They have themselves another 1st and 10.
Give up defense! Make him feel it, baby!
Breaking from the gun, it's McCarthy. Into the hands of Samuel, complete. Still going to touch him down after a short pickup. Second and 6 coming up here. And he's tackled with the 1st down yardage.
Move the chains! Gotta move them chains! Build momentum to keep that defense on its heels.
Get some ball, defense. Let's go.
Going on first, it's McCarthy. Connection made it down. And they have this down to the 11 before being marked down. 12 yards on that play and a good call nets on the 1st. Walker now from the bottom. And the defense is all over this one for a big loss.
This is one of those situations, Kate, where I watch the body language of the running back because it'd be very easy for him to raise his hands up, look to the sideline in his O-line and go, what am I supposed to do there? There was nothing, no time at all to try and escape and react. Instead, it goes backwards.
Look at this inside the 10 to the 9. Jaguars with an extra defensive back out there, 3rd down. And the shotgun. This time they're going to get there, and they drop it. Timeout called on the field, so we've got players shaken up, and at the worst time, too. They just wanted to keep everyone healthy entering the playoffs next week. 4th and forever coming up. McCarthy with 4. He got it! Interception! Christian Gonzalez has it!
That's it right there. That's the resilience and the mental toughness that every coach wants to see from his defense. Not a great spot for him. Backed up close enough that they're going to get shots taken in the end zone. But instead of collapsing under pressure, they rose up and they created the takeaway.
And he found some running room for a nice gain. 2nd and 3 now. They give it to him again. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains. It's a new set of downs for him at the 32. First down, and they go right back to it. And he drives that front backward on a gain of 4. 2nd and 6 coming up here. And this time they get to him early and stick him along the line of scrimmage. They come to the line here, and this is 3rd and 6. They'll give it to him inside. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
I know this is normally a passing situation on your 3rd down chart, but not unheard of to see an offense keep it on the ground and try to get the first run in. In this case, well, it's clear that going to the air would have been a better decision. That defense was dialed in to make that stop.
Hunter takes the field on 4th down, and he sends this one flying. Fair catch called for, and he's got it right near the 30-yard line. So no return on that punt. And they're going to take over possession. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. free now. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
You know, it sure seems like he knew exactly where he was going with that before the snap. That's a pre-snap decision that led to a post-snap first down.
And that tackle stops him after a solid gain. Second and 6 coming up here. Adams put in motion right. Second and 6 here. And he has them a first down, which they will tackle on the other side of this 2-minute warning. He'll move the sticks after ripping off a gain of 28. Still on the move, come to the line for first and 10.
Leaving you deep.
McCarthy looking to throw. Into the hands of Ford. And he has it down officially to the red zone at the 20.
That's a pretty similar result to a first down run play. Moves it forward, keeps you on schedule, and makes second and third down a whole lot easier to manage. Times we see these coaches after games sit there at the press conference and pull out the stat sheet, and when they do, they look for some anomalies. And today, this head coach didn't go forward, the defensive end getting after the quarterback 6 different times. 6 sacks, and they've had a heyday in the backfield. And on the stat sheet, Kate, that shows up as passing yards, but any defensive coordinator will take it. Understanding down and distance and keeping that offense short of the sticks.
Here he goes. A quick slant. It finds Adams. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains. They'll come up first and 10.
Stop, defense.
From the red zone now. Looking end zone, but touchdown denied. Knocked away. Incomplete. Took his shot at 6 that time. So it's second down coming up. And it's good yardage, but they tackle him short of the sticks. So the Jaguars come away with a win in this one. And they end the season the way they have so many games already this year, Brock, with a victory. And now they get to enjoy an extra week off to rest and prepare to host a game in the divisional round coming up in 2 weeks. Well, that'll do it for us, for Brock Heward and our entire hard-working crew. I'm Kate Scott. This has been the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Jaguars as we bid farewell.